diabetes prediction using machine learning algorithms. So in this project, we'll walk through, consider this as an awareness because this is one of the most commonly present in many of the human beings and also most easily neglected. Okay, so let us create an machine learning model which can predict diabetes based on the inputs. Okay. So what exactly is our problem specification? Okay. So the most usual and convenient method for diagnosis and detection of diabetes retinopathy is by using human fundus images and retina images. Okay. And in our study, we focus on predicting uh, of the diabetes using humans using health records of the diabetic patients. Okay, so what exactly is we have n number of parameters with respect to health parameters. So all those we'll be seeing in the data set, and with the help of those data sets, we'll be just feeding on to machine learning models, which will come up with its own kind of algorithm, or basically with basis of algorithm it will create its own kind of code where it will be created during the training phase where the data is fed, and then we can check with the testing uh, with a test data set, okay, where we can see the actual prediction and also how much accuracy it is able to achieve. Okay, so that we'll be using. So basically, by using machine learning techniques, knowledge is acquired through these records containing numeric values to predict whether the patient is gonna have diabetes or not. Okay, so for this prediction, diabetes different classification algorithm. So we'll be using like a few of them actually over here. So we'll be using support vector, k nearest, backtrace, logistic regression can be used. Okay, so these are few of them. Also, we will also be using a few of them. Okay, so what exactly is diabetes? Okay, so basically, diabetes are having two types. Okay, so uh, according to NIH, diabetes is a disease that occurs when our blood glucose, or basically we have something called as a blood sugar, is very high. Okay, so when glucose content is more than the normal regular level, so at that scenarios it can be considered as diabetes. So blood glucose is the main source of energy and comes from the food we eat. Okay, so especially with respect to direct sugar consumption and also carbohydrates. Okay, and insulin. Okay, so there is an something known as an insulin, a hormone made by pancreas. Okay, so uh, this helps glucose from food to get into the cell to be used for energy. Okay, so sometimes your body doesn't make enough of insulin and does not use insulin when well. Okay, so at that scenario, glucose stays in our blood and doesn't reach the cells also for the energy. Okay, so over a long time, having too much of glucose in our blood can cause health problems. Okay, so although diabetes doesn't has a direct cure, but we can take steps to manage diabetes and stay healthy. So sometimes people call it as like kind of, or maybe therapist or general physicians will call it as like kind of borderline diabetes or a touch of a sugar. So that means these terms suggest that someone doesn't really have diabetes or have a less serious case. Okay, but every case of diabetes is kind of serious itself. Okay, so as I was mentioning, there are two types of diabetes: type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes. Where type 1 diabetes is like we will be having type 1 diabetes if our body does not make insulin and our immune system attacks and destroys the cells in our pancreas that creates the insulin. So, okay, so type 1 is usually diagnosed in children's and also young adults. Although it can appear in at any age, so people with type 1 diabetes need to take insulin every day. Okay, so basically, when our body internally it is not generating the insulin, so it has to come from external factors. Okay, so that's how they are gonna stay healthy. Else, it will cause some serious health issues. Okay, uh, and next we have type 2 diabetes. So type 2 diabetes is like our body do not make or utilize insulin well. Okay, so uh, again, type 2 diabetes can also occur in any age, even during childhoods also. So, however, these type of diabetes, type 2 diabetes occurs most in middle age or and older people. Okay, so this is like kind of a long run where the sugar or the glucose level gets accumulated in the blood over a long period. Okay, so type 1 is kind of genetics or such thing. Okay. So we have gestation diabetes too. So that means it is be there are actually different types. Okay, so we are not getting into those. Okay, so hence here primarily we'll be seeing type 1 and type 2, which will be our classification based problem. Okay, and why do we need to know whether we have diabetes or not? Because these are the serious effects of the diabetes. So here we have heart diseases, definitely stroke, kidney damage, nerve damage. So all this can lead. Okay, so with respect to diabetes. Okay, so what is the overall fundamental procedure what we'll be following over here? Okay, so we'll be importing the data set. So we have a comma separated value, so an Excel spreadsheet where it contains all kind of information which is required for the project. Okay, so basically the health records of a individuals, so that we'll see. And if there are any missing values, we need to fill those missing values, and also we'll be doing exploratory data analysis, the EDA. Okay, so any outliers or such things. Okay, so these are the few of the less things which we'll be worried about. Next we have feature engineering, and mainly we'll focus on implementing machine learning models. Okay, so we'll be implementing a few of the machine learning models and see what is the outcome, and also making predictions. Definitely making predictions will help us to check the accuracy of the model, like how well the model is performing. Okay, so these are the standard steps which we'll be doing. Okay, so as we code along, we'll see what kind of libraries we'll be using, what are the package which we'll be using, data importing of data set. That would be nothing but pandas itself. Okay, so again we'll be seeing data set like missing in any values, whether it is anything is missing or not. Okay, so if it is missing, then we'll be doing, and also we'll be going with respect to feature engineering. Okay, so feature scaling, all those, and in middle we'll have visualizations too, since we cannot randomly, like visualizing like kind of creating a heat map would be really helpful when it comes to visualization, so we'll do that too. And finally work on machine learning models. Okay, so basically we'll be having a few number of machine learning models, like KNN would be one of them. Okay, so KNN, device tree, um, MLP classifiers. These are the few things which we'll be seeing. Okay, so now let's get to coding.